You're losing control of your time, watching days disappear into busy work while important work remains undone. Recognizing that poor time management destroys productivity and creates constant overwhelm, knowing that mastering time is prerequisite for success, but current approach fails consistently. Understanding that 30 days of focused practice can transform time management permanently, and losing massive potential because without systematic time control, you react to urgency instead of acting on importance, making unbreakable time management essential for achievement and fulfillment. This poor time management is systematically destroying your success by ensuring busy days produce minimal meaningful results, destroying your peace by creating constant stress and overwhelm, destroying your opportunities by preventing focus on important work, destroying your relationships by consuming time without creating value, and ensuring that years pass feeling rushed yet unproductive because reactive time management guarantees exhaustion without achievement, making 30-day transformation to unbreakable systematic time management essential. Transforming time management is not about working more hours or trying harder, but installing systematic practices over 30 days. Not about perfect productivity, but progressively better time control. And not abstract theory, but daily practical implementation. This audiobook teaches 30-day transformation to unbreakable time management through daily practices building progressively, including days 1-5 establishing baseline and core principles, days 6-10 implementing time blocking and scheduling, days 11-15 mastering prioritization and focus, days 16-20 eliminating time wasters and distractions, days 21-25 building energy and sustainability, days 26-30 integrating advanced techniques and ensuring permanence, making time management transformation systematic, achievable, and permanent through structured 30-day program. Stop losing control of time and start managing systematically. Stop reacting to urgency and start acting on importance. Follow 30-day program. Practice daily consistently, build progressively, and transform time management permanently through unwavering commitment starting now. Chapter 1. Days 1-3. Establish baseline and core time management principles. Days 1-3. Establish baseline and teach core principles, creating foundation for 30-day transformation. Day 1 involves tracking how you currently spend time, providing honest assessment of current reality. The tracking process requires recording every activity in 15-minute blocks throughout entire day, writing down what you do as you do it, not relying on memory at day's end, identifying time wasters and high-value activities, calculating time spent on different categories like deep work, shallow work, meetings, email, social media, and understanding current reality before attempting any change, because you cannot improve what you do not measure. Day 1. Track current reality. Day 2. Learn core principles. Day 3. Define transformation goals. The baseline importance shows that most people have no idea how they actually spend time, that perception differs dramatically from reality, that tracking reveals shocking time waste, that honest baseline enables measuring transformation progress, that baseline creates motivation by revealing current dysfunction, and treating tracking as essential first step, making improvement possible. Day 2 focuses on understanding core time management principles that govern all effective systems. The core principles include Parkinson's law, showing that work expands to fill time available so tight deadlines increase efficiency. The 80-20 Pareto principle, showing that 20% of activities produce 80% of results, requiring focus on high-value work. Urgent versus important distinction, showing that urgent tasks dominate attention while important tasks build success. Energy management principle, showing that when you work matters as much as how long you work, and treating these principles as universal laws enabling effective time management. The Parkinson's law application means setting tight deadlines for tasks, not allowing unlimited time, using time pressure strategically, recognizing that abundant time creates procrastination, and understanding that constraint forces efficiency. The 80-20 principle implementation involves identifying which 20% of activities produce most results, focusing energy on high-value work, eliminating or delegating low-value activities, and treating time as investment requiring highest return focus. The urgent versus important matrix shows that urgent tasks demand immediate attention, that important tasks build long-term success, that urgent drowns out important without discipline, that most people spend excessive time on urgent not important, and that success requires protecting important work from urgent interruptions. Day 3 establishes personal productivity goals, defining what successful time management means specifically for you. The goal definition process involves identifying most important outcomes you want to achieve, setting specific time management targets like reducing wasted time by 50% or increasing deep work to 4 hours daily, clarifying values driving your priorities, creating vision of transformed time management, describing ideal typical day, and treating goal clarity as enabling focused 30-day journey with clear destination. The goal categories include professional goals like completing important projects or advancing career, personal goals like spending quality time with family or pursuing hobbies, health goals like exercising regularly or sleeping adequately, learning goals like developing skills or reading consistently, and treating goal diversity as ensuring balanced life, not just work productivity. The vision creation means writing detailed description of ideal day after time management transformation, describing how you spend morning productive hours, what you accomplish during peak energy times, how you handle interruptions and distractions, when you finish work and what you do with free time, and treating vision as North Star guiding daily decisions throughout 30-day program. The commitment level assessment involves honestly evaluating readiness for 30-day commitment, recognizing that transformation requires consistent daily practice, accepting that some days will be difficult, deciding that transformation is priority worth protecting, and treating commitment as prerequisite for success, because casual effort produces casual results. The support system creation includes telling others about 30-day commitment, asking family or colleagues to support your time management changes, finding accountability partner doing similar transformation, joining online community focused on productivity, and understanding that external support increases follow through dramatically. The baseline review means looking at day 1 tracking data with fresh eyes after learning principles, identifying specific time wasters to eliminate, recognizing high-value activities to expand, calculating potential time savings from eliminating waste, and treating baseline as revealing opportunity for dramatic improvement. The preparation for implementation involves gathering tools needed like Planner or APP, blocking calendar for 30 days of practice, preparing workspace for focused work, eliminating obvious distractions in advance, and treating preparation as removing obstacles before they arise. The mindset establishment requires accepting that transformation takes consistent practice, understanding that perfection is not required or expected, committing to learning from mistakes, not judging them, maintaining patience with gradual improvement process, and treating 30 days as building sustainable habits, not achieving instant perfection. The implementation of days 1 through 3 requires actually tracking full day recording every 15-minute block honestly, studying core time management principles, understanding their application, defining specific personal productivity goals and transformation vision, assessing commitment level and building support system, reviewing baseline data, identifying improvement opportunities, and treating first 3 days as essential foundation, making remaining 27 days effective. Because transformation without baseline and principles is random change without direction or measurement, making these foundation days critical for 30-day program success. Chapter 2. Days for 6 Master Daily Planning and Time Blocking Basics. Days 4 through 6. Introduce daily planning and time blocking, creating structure for productive days. Day 4 teaches evening planning ritual, establishing practice of planning tomorrow tonight. The evening planning process involves spending 15 minutes each evening before bed, reviewing calendar for tomorrow, noting all scheduled commitments, identifying 3 most important tasks that must be completed, scheduling those tasks to specific time blocks in calendar, anticipating potential obstacles or conflicts, and establishing planning as non-negotiable daily habit, because planning when mind is clear enables execution when mind is tired. Day 4. Plan every evening. Day 5. Block your time. Day 6. Refine your blocks. The planning timing importance shows that evening planning is superior to morning planning, that evenings allow reflection on full day's experience, that morning mind is fresh for execution, not planning, that planning night before creates commitment, reducing morning decision fatigue, that sleeping on plan allows subconscious processing, and treating evening planning as optimal timing for this essential practice. The 3 most important task selection involves identifying tasks that would make tomorrow successful if completed, choosing tasks aligned with goals established on day 3, ensuring tasks are specific, and completable, not vague. Writing tasks in results language, describing outcome, not activity. And treating task selection as forcing prioritization, preventing trying to do everything. Day 5 implements basic time blocking, dividing day into dedicated blocks for different work types. The time blocking process involves opening calendar and viewing day as series of blocks. Scheduling deep work blocks for most important focused tasks, typically in morning. Grouping similar activities together in themed blocks like email block or meeting block. Protecting blocks from interruptions by treating them as non-negotiable appointments. Beginning to experience focused productivity from dedicated time, and understanding that time blocking prevents reactive day where urgency dictates. Activity. The block types include deep work blocks of 90 to 120 minutes for focused important work. Shallow work blocks for email administrative tasks and routine work. Meeting blocks clustering meetings together when possible. Break blocks for rest and recovery. Buffer blocks for unexpected issues or transitions, and treating block variety as matching work type to appropriate time and energy. The block scheduling strategy means scheduling most important work during peak energy hours, protecting morning hours for deep work when possible, grouping meetings in afternoon when energy naturally lower, leaving some unscheduled time for flexibility, not scheduling back-to-back blocks without breaks, and treating schedule as framework, providing structure while allowing adaptation. Day 6 refines time blocking, adjusting approach based on 2 days of experience. The refinement process involves reviewing what worked and what didn't during days 4 and 5, adjusting block sizes based on actual time needed, adding buffer time between blocks for transitions, creating morning and afternoon routines bookending workday, learning to estimate task duration more accurately through experience, and treating time blocking as evolving skill requiring practice and adjustment, not perfect system from day one. The estimation improvement shows that most people initially underestimate task duration, that tracking actual time spent versus estimated time teaches realistic planning, that building in margin prevents constant schedule overrun, that better estimation comes from experience and honest tracking, and treating estimation as learnable skill improving throughout 30 days. The routine creation involves establishing morning routine, preparing for productive day, developing afternoon routine, transitioning out of work, creating shutdown routine, reviewing day and planning tomorrow, using routines to reduce decision fatigue, and treating routines as automation, making time management easier. The flexibility balance requires maintaining structure through blocks while adapting to reality, not abandoning time blocking when disruptions occur, adjusting schedule as needed rather than feeling guilty, getting back on schedule after interruptions, and understanding that time blocking provides framework, not rigid constraint requiring perfect adherence. The common mistakes include scheduling every minute, leaving no flexibility, not protecting blocks from interruptions, abandoning system after one bad day, scheduling unrealistic amount of work, not building in break time, and treating these mistakes as learning opportunities requiring adjustment, not reasons to quit. The block protection strategies involve turning off notifications during deep work blocks, closing office door or using headphones, signaling unavailability, communicating your schedule to others, batching interruptions into specific times, and treating protected time as non-negotiable because unprotected blocks become fragmented, ineffective time. The momentum building shows that successful time blocking on day 4 creates confidence, that experiencing focused productivity motivates continuation, that visible progress reinforces practice, that each successful day makes next day easier, and treating early success as building motivation for remaining program days. The implementation of days 4 through 6 requires establishing evening planning ritual, spending 15 minutes planning tomorrow, implementing time blocking, dividing day into themed blocks for different work, refining approach based on experience, adjusting block sizes and adding buffers, protecting blocks from interruptions, treating them as commitments, and treating these 3 days as building fundamental structure, making remaining days effective because days without structure are reactive, responding to urgency rather than proactive, working on importance, making planning and blocking essential for time management transformation. Chapter 3. Days 7-9. Implement the 2-minute rule and quick capture systems. Days 7 through 9 focus on quick tasks and capture systems, preventing mental overload. Day 7 implements 2-minute rule, executing immediately any task, taking less than 2 minutes. The 2-minute rule application involves evaluating tasks as they arise, asking if task takes less than 2 minutes, doing immediately tasks that meet criteria, not scheduling or tracking 2-minute tasks, maintaining momentum through quick wins, creating bias toward immediate action, and experiencing benefits of preventing small task accumulation because delayed 2-minute tasks create massive backlog. Day 7. Act on 2-minute tasks. Day 8. Capture everything. Day 9. Process to zero. The 2-minute threshold significance shows that 2 minutes is decision point where doing immediately is faster than scheduling later, that tracking and scheduling small tasks takes more time than doing them, that immediate execution prevents mental burden of remembering, that quick wins create momentum and satisfaction, and treating 2-minute rule as eliminating decision overhead for small tasks. The immediate execution examples include responding to quick emails, making short phone calls, filing documents, adding items to a shopping list, confirming appointments, sending quick messages, and treating immediate action as preventing accumulation of tiny tasks that together create overwhelm. Day 8 establishes capture system for tasks and ideas, creating external brain. The capture system creation involves selecting tool for capturing like notebook app or index cards, keeping capture tool accessible at all times, capturing everything immediately when it occurs to you, writing tasks and ideas without evaluation or prioritization, clearing mind of mental tracking burden, and understanding that reliable external capture frees mental energy for important thinking. The capture discipline requires writing down everything you need to remember, capturing tasks immediately, not trusting memory, including context needed to understand later, not trying to remember anything in your head, developing habit of immediate capture, and treating capture tool as extension of mind, reducing cognitive load. The capture categories include tasks to complete, ideas to explore, information to remember, things to buy, people to contact, places to go, and treating comprehensive capture as preventing mental clutter. Day 9 practices inbox zero, processing captured items to completion. The processing protocol involves scheduling dedicated time for processing captured items, going through every captured item systematically, making decision on each item immediately without delay, processing to empty, not leaving items in inbox, and treating processing as completing capture loop, not just moving items around. The processing decisions include do immediately if takes less than 2 minutes, schedule to specific time block if important and longer, delegate if someone else should do it, defer if not important right now, delete if not actually needed, and treating each item as requiring definitive decision. The maintenance practice involves processing inbox daily, preventing accumulation, keeping capture tool empty after processing, reviewing system regularly, adjusting as needed, and treating maintained system as providing reliable external memory. The mental clarity benefit shows that external capture reduces mental burden, that trying to remember creates stress and anxiety, that captured items don't distract during focus time, that clear mind enables better thinking, and treating capture system as liberating mental energy for high-value work. The capture process cycle involves capturing everything throughout day, processing batch during scheduled time, executing or scheduling processed items, maintaining empty inbox, and treating cycle as continuous system, not one-time cleanup. The system failure prevention requires processing regularly, not allowing backlog, trusting system enough to capture without worrying, maintaining single capture location, not multiple scattered lists, reviewing and updating as habits change, and treating system maintenance as preventing overwhelm from broken system. The integration with planning means processing captured items during evening planning session, incorporating tasks into tomorrow's plan, ensuring nothing captured is forgotten, using capture system to feed planning process, and treating capture and planning as complementary practices. The common mistakes include capturing but never processing, creating useless list, processing without making real decisions, just moving items, maintaining multiple capture systems, creating confusion, not capturing consistently, allowing mental burden, and treating these as system design failures requiring correction. The habit formation shows that capture becomes automatic with practice, that processing becomes quick routine, that trust in system builds over time, that initial effort creates long-term payoff, and treating habit development as requiring consistent practice throughout 30 days. The implementation of days 7 through 9 requires executing immediately all tasks taking less than 2 minutes, establishing capture system, writing down everything as it occurs, processing captured items to completion daily, maintaining empty inbox through decisive action on every item, integrating capture with evening planning routine, and treating these practices as preventing mental overload and small task accumulation, because trying to remember everything creates stress and distraction, while external capture creates mental clarity, enabling focus on important work, making capture and processing essential for effective time management. Chapter 4. Days 10-12 master single tasking and deep work. Days 10 through 12 develop focus and deep work capacity, enabling highest quality output. Day 10 eliminates multitasking, committing to working on one thing at a time. The single tasking commitment involves closing all browser tabs except one needed for current task, shutting down email and messaging apps, working on single task until completion or time block ends, resisting urges to switch to different tasks, and experiencing dramatically improved focus and work quality. Because multitasking is myth, creating illusion of productivity while destroying actual output. Day 10. Single task only. Day 11. First deep work. Day 12. Expand deep work. The multitasking cost shows that switching between tasks wastes time through context switching. That each switch requires refocusing, taking minutes of productivity. That multitasking reduces work quality dramatically. That attempting simultaneous tasks means doing both poorly. That focused single tasking produces better, faster results. And treating multitasking as productivity destroyer, requiring elimination. The single tasking practice means selecting one task, working only on that task, completing task, or working until time block ends, then selecting next task, not allowing interruptions or distractions, and treating complete focus as enabling flow state. Day 11 schedules first deep work block, dedicating 90 minutes to single important task. The deep work block creation involves selecting most important task from day's priorities, blocking 90 consecutive minutes in calendar, eliminating absolutely all distractions and interruptions, working with complete focus on single task, tracking results, comparing to fragmented work, and proving through experience that deep work produces dramatically superior outcomes. The deep work definition shows that deep work is focused, uninterrupted work on cognitively demanding tasks, that deep work produces highest value output, that deep work builds skills and creates breakthrough results, that deep work is increasingly rare and valuable, and treating deep work capacity as competitive advantage. The distraction elimination for deep work involves turning off phone completely or leaving in another room, disconnecting from internet if not needed for task, using website blockers if internet required, closing door and using do not disturb signals, telling others you are unavailable, and treating complete distraction elimination as non-negotiable for deep work. Day 12 expands deep work, scheduling multiple deep work blocks throughout week. The expansion process involves scheduling deep work blocks several days in advance, protecting them as most important calendar items, building deep work stamina through regular practice, recognizing when focus depletes, adjusting length accordingly, treating deep work as highest value time requiring maximum protection, and understanding that deep work capacity builds progressively through consistent practice. The block scheduling strategy means scheduling deep work during peak energy times, typically morning, starting with 60 to 90-minute blocks, gradually extending duration as capacity increases, spacing deep work blocks with adequate rest, and treating scheduling as ensuring deep work happens, not leaving to chance. The deep work ritual creation involves starting each deep work block with brief startup routine, eliminating distractions systematically before beginning, setting timer for block duration, working intensely until timer ends, taking real break after completing block, and treating ritual as triggering deep work mode. The focus maintenance techniques include working in physical location associated with deep work, using background music or silence based on preference, having water and needed materials ready, resisting all urges to check phone or email, accepting discomfort from sustained focus, and treating focus as muscle strengthening through use. The deep work protection strategies involve communicating schedule to others, setting boundaries about interruptions, rescheduling meetings that conflict, batching shallow work into non-deep work times, and treating deep work time as sacred, non-negotiable. The quality versus quantity shift shows that 2 hours of deep work produces more than 8 hours of distracted work, that focus multiplies output quality and speed, that shallow fragmented work feels busy but accomplishes little, that protecting few deep work hours matters more than working many distracted hours, and treating deep work as leverage point for productivity. The shallow work containment means batching email and messages into specific times outside deep work, grouping meetings together, handling administrative tasks during low energy periods, not allowing shallow work to consume prime hours, and understanding that shallow work is necessary, but should not dominate schedule. The capacity building shows that initial deep work blocks feel difficult, that focus endurance increases with practice, that starting with shorter blocks prevents burnout, that consistency matters more than duration initially, and treating deep work capacity as developing progressively throughout 30 days and beyond. The implementation of days 10 through 12 requires eliminating all multitasking, working on one task at a time, scheduling first 90-minute deep work block with complete distraction elimination, expanding to multiple deep work blocks throughout week, protecting deep work time as most valuable hours, building focus capacity through consistent practice, and treating single tasking and deep work as fundamental practices enabling highest quality output, because fragmented distracted work produces mediocre results regardless of hours, and making focused deep work essential for transformation. Chapter 5. Days 13-15 implement Eisenhower matrix for ruthless prioritization. Days 13 through 15 teach ruthless prioritization using Eisenhower matrix, ensuring focus on truly important work. Day 13 learns matrix fundamentals, categorizing all tasks and activities by urgent versus important dimensions. The matrix structure divides work into 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1 urgent and important, requiring immediate attention like crises and deadlines. Quadrant 2 not urgent, but important, including strategic work, goal progress, relationship building and prevention. Quadrant 3 urgent, but not important, like interruptions and others priorities. Quadrant 4 neither urgent nor important, including time wasters and trivial busy work, and understanding that quadrant determines whether activity builds success or wastes time. Day 13. Learn the matrix. Day 14. Apply systematically. Day 15. Make it automatic. The quadrant characteristics show that Quadrant 1 contains genuine emergencies requiring immediate response, that Quadrant 2 builds long-term success but gets postponed constantly, that Quadrant 3 creates busyness illusion while accomplishing nothing meaningful, that Quadrant 4 is pure waste destroying potential, that most people spend excessive time in Quadrants 1 and 3, and treating Quadrant 2 focus as secret to success. The urgent versus important distinction reveals that urgent demands attention, now creating pressure, that important builds toward goals and values, that urgent is not automatically important, that important is not automatically urgent, that confusion between urgent and important destroys productivity, and treating distinction as fundamental to wise time allocation. Day 14 applies matrix systematically to current work, categorizing every task and commitment. The application process involves listing all current task projects and regular activities, categorizing each item into appropriate quadrant honestly, calculating time spent in each quadrant currently, recognizing distribution reveals priorities, scheduling quadrant to work first before anything else, and treating systematic categorization as revealing where time actually goes versus where it should go. The Quadrant 2 focus strategy means identifying key quadrant 2 activities for your goals, scheduling these activities to specific calendar blocks, protecting Quadrant 2 time from Quadrant 3 intrusions, treating Quadrant 2 as highest priority, not leftover time, understanding that Quadrant 2 prevents future Quadrant 1 crises, and recognizing that success comes from consistent Quadrant 2 work. The Quadrant 3 and 4 elimination involves delegating Quadrant 3 tasks to others when possible, saying no to requests that fall in Quadrant 3, completely eliminating Quadrant 4 activities, tracking time wasted in these quadrants, feeling urgency to reclaim this time, and treating elimination as creating capacity for important work. Day 15 makes matrix automatic, developing instant prioritization ability. The automation process involves evaluating all new tasks and requests through matrix lens immediately, asking which quadrant each potential commitment falls into, declining Quadrant 3 and 4 items automatically, protecting Quadrant 2 time religiously, treating matrix as decision filter for everything, and understanding that automatic categorization prevents wrong work from entering schedule. The saying no practice requires declining requests politely but firmly, explaining priorities without lengthy justification, offering alternatives like delegation to others, maintaining boundaries despite pressure, and treating no as protecting yes to important work. The prevention mindset shows that Quadrant 2 work prevents Quadrant 1 crises, that regular maintenance prevents emergency repairs, that relationship building prevents relationship crises, that strategic planning prevents firefighting, and treating prevention as most efficient use of time. The matrix review ritual involves weekly review of time spent in each quadrant, adjusting next week to increase quadrant 2 focus, identifying patterns of quadrant 3 intrusions, celebrating progress toward better distribution, and treating review as ensuring continued improvement. The common traps include allowing quadrant 3 urgency to feel like quadrant 1 importance, neglecting quadrant 2 because it lacks urgency, feeling guilty saying no to quadrant 3 requests, spending time in quadrant 4 as stress relief, and treating these traps as requiring vigilance to avoid. The quadrant transition strategy means gradually shifting time from quadrants 3 and 4 into quadrant 2, not expecting instant perfect distribution, maintaining quadrant 1 capacity for genuine emergencies, celebrating each percentage point shifted to quadrant 2, and treating transition as progressive improvement. The integration with planning involves categorizing planned tasks by quadrant during evening planning, ensuring each day includes protected quadrant to time, anticipating quadrant 3 intrusions and defending against them, reviewing quadrant distribution during weekly planning, and treating matrix as integral to planning process. The accountability for prioritization means tracking what quadrant activities actually fall into, being honest about miscategorizing quadrant 3 as quadrant 1, confronting tendency to avoid quadrant 2 work, sharing matrix with accountability partner, and treating honesty as enabling improvement. The implementation of days 13 through 15 requires learning Eisenhower matrix, categorizing all work by urgent and important dimensions, applying matrix systematically to current tasks, scheduling quadrant 2 first, making matrix automatic, evaluating all new work through this lens, protecting quadrant 2 time, religiously declining quadrant 3 and 4 work, and treating ruthless prioritization as ensuring time goes to work that actually matters, because working hard on wrong things creates exhaustion without achievement, making systematic prioritization essential for directing effort toward actual goals. Chapter 6. Days 16-18 eliminate digital distractions and time wasters. Days 16 through 18 eliminate major time wasters, enabling focused productive work. Day 16 audits digital distractions, revealing painful reality of wasted time. The audit process involves installing time tracking APP like Rescue a Time or Toggle, tracking phone and computer usage for a full day, identifying biggest time-wasting websites and apps, calculating total hours lost to digital distractions, reviewing data with brutal honesty, and confronting shocking reality that most people waste 2 to 4 hours daily on digital distractions, believing they worked productively all day. Day 16. Audit distractions. Day 17. Block completely. Day 18. Control communication. The audit revelation shows that self-perception of productivity differs dramatically from reality, that unconscious checking of phone and social media accumulates massively, that small distractions fragment entire day, that digital distractions feel like breaks but prevent deep work, that awareness of actual usage creates motivation for change, and treating audit data as undeniable evidence requiring immediate action. The common time wasters include social media scrolling, consuming hours while feeling like minutes, news websites offering endless content, YouTube videos creating endless watching chain, messaging apps interrupting constantly, email checking becoming compulsive habit, and understanding that digital environment is designed to capture attention requiring active defense. Day 17 implements distraction blockers, creating distraction-free work environment. The blocking strategy involves using apps like Freedom Cold Turkey or Self-Control, blocking all distracting websites during work hours, blocking social media apps on phone, turning off absolutely all notifications on all devices, putting phone in different room entirely during deep work, and experiencing productivity transformation from complete distraction elimination. The notification elimination requires turning off all app notifications, disabling badge icons showing unread counts, removing apps from phone home screen, setting phone to do not disturb mode during work, allowing only emergency calls from specific contacts, and treating notification elimination as reclaiming control over attention. The physical phone separation shows that phone in same room creates constant temptation, that out of sight reduces checking urge dramatically, that physical distance prevents unconscious reaching, that complete separation enables sustained focus, and treating phone separation as essential during deep work blocks. Day 18 establishes communication boundaries, controlling when and how you engage with communication. The boundary creation involves checking email at scheduled times, only like at PM and PM, batching all message responses into specific time blocks, turning off email and messaging apps between scheduled times, setting communication expectations with colleagues and clients, protecting focus time from communication interruptions, and treating communication as scheduled work, not constant background activity. The email batch processing means opening email only during scheduled times, processing entire inbox during batch session, responding to everything requiring response immediately, archiving or deleting everything else, closing email completely after processing, and understanding that batch processing is more efficient than constant checking. The communication expectations setting involves telling others your communication schedule, explaining you check email at specific times, requesting urgent matters be handled through phone call, training others that immediate response is not guaranteed, and treating boundary communication as preventing others from expecting constant availability. The response time management shows that immediate response is rarely actually necessary, that most issues can wait 2 to 4 hours, that batch processing enables thoughtful responses, that constant availability creates dependency and interruption culture, and treating delayed response as normal, not neglectful. The social media elimination strategies include deleting social media apps from phone, using website blockers preventing access during work, scheduling specific social media time if needed, treating social media as intentional activity, not default behavior, and understanding that social media is largest single time waster for most people. The replacement behavior identification means deciding what to do instead of checking phone, having book or productive activity ready, practicing sitting with boredom without reaching for phone, recognizing checking urge without acting on it, and treating urge resistance as building focus muscle. The withdrawal management recognizes that eliminating distractions creates initial discomfort, that urge to check phone or social media feels strong initially, that discomfort fades within days, that pushing through initial period leads to freedom, and treating withdrawal symptoms as temporary price of liberation. The productivity measurement involves comparing output during distraction-free time versus normal time, tracking deep work hours achieved, noting quality improvement in focused work, calculating time reclaimed from distraction elimination, and treating measurement as proving distraction elimination effectiveness. The maintenance requirements include keeping blocking apps active, maintaining notification settings, continuing phone separation practice, protecting communication boundaries, and treating distraction elimination as ongoing practice, not one-time fix. The temptation management strategies involve removing saved passwords requiring login friction, using grayscale phone mode making apps less appealing, placing phone in inconvenient location, having accountability for distraction elimination, and treating friction addition as preventing unconscious usage. The exception handling means allowing reasonable social media or entertainment during designated break times, maintaining distinction between work and rest periods, not feeling guilty about intentional leisure, and understanding that elimination targets unconscious distraction, not all screen time. The implementation of days 16 through 18 requires conducting honest audit of digital distractions, tracking all usage, implementing complete blocking of distracting websites and apps during work hours, establishing communication boundaries, checking email and messages at scheduled times only, maintaining distraction elimination, consistently resisting temptation to check, and treating digital distraction elimination as reclaiming hours of productive time daily, because digital distractions are invisible time thieves destroying productivity while creating illusion of work, making elimination essential for time management transformation. Chapter 7. Days 19-21 Master Meeting Management and Calendar Control. Days 19 through 21 Optimize meetings and calendar, reclaiming time from excessive meetings. Day 19 audits current meetings, evaluating which are truly necessary. The meeting audit involves listing all recurring meetings you attend, calculating total hours spent in meetings weekly, evaluating each meeting for actual value and necessity, identifying meetings that could be eliminated, shortened, or replaced with email, recognizing opportunity cost of meeting time, and confronting reality that most professionals spend 25 to 50% of time in meetings, with majority being unnecessary or inefficient. Day 19. Audit meetings. Day 20. Implement meeting rules. Day 21. Create focus days. The meeting cost calculation shows that hour-long meeting with 5 people costs 5 person hours, not 1 hour. That recurring weekly meeting costs over 200 hours annually. That poorly run meetings waste enormous cumulative time. That meeting time prevents focused productive work. And treating meetings as expensive resource requiring justification. The necessity evaluation asks whether meeting purpose could be accomplished through email or message, whether all attendees are actually needed, whether meeting duration is appropriate for agenda, whether meeting has clear outcome defined, and understanding that many meetings exist from habit, not necessity. Day 20 implements meeting rules establishing clear standards for all meetings. The meeting rules include requiring agenda shared in advance for all meetings, declining meeting invitations lacking clear agenda, limiting meeting length to 30 or 45 minutes, never full hour, scheduling meetings in blocks on specific days, protecting certain days as meeting-free focus days, and treating rules as filter preventing unnecessary meetings from consuming calendar. The agenda requirement means all meetings must have written agenda shared 24 hours in advance. Agenda must list topics to cover and desired outcomes. Meetings without agenda get declined or rescheduled. Agenda discipline forces meeting organizer to clarify purpose, and understanding that agenda requirement eliminates many unnecessary meetings. The meeting length discipline involves defaulting to 30-minute meetings instead of hour, using time constraint to force efficiency, ending meetings when purpose accomplished, not when time scheduled ends, standing meetings to maintain energy and pace, and treating shorter meetings as more productive than extended unfocused sessions. Day 21 creates focus days, scheduling meeting-free days for deep work. The focus day strategy involves blocking 1 or 2 full days weekly as meeting-free, protecting these days absolutely from meeting scheduling, clustering all meetings on remaining days, communicating focus day boundaries to colleagues, scheduling most important deep work on focus days, and experiencing productivity transformation from uninterrupted focus time. The meeting clustering means grouping meetings together on specific days, avoiding scattered meetings, fragmenting every day, creating full days with no meetings at all, batching meetings to minimize context switching, and treating clustering as protecting blocks of uninterrupted time. The calendar protection strategies include blocking focus time before others can schedule meetings, marking blocks as busy or out of office, declining meeting requests that conflict with protected time, suggesting alternative times on meeting-approved days, and treating calendar as scarce resource requiring active defense. The meeting attendance evaluation asks whether you truly need to attend every meeting invited to, whether sending delegate is option, whether reviewing meeting notes afterwards suffices, whether 30 minutes instead of full hour is adequate, and understanding that declining meetings preserves time for important work. The effective meeting practices include starting exactly on time regardless of late arrivals, ending on time or early respecting participants' schedules, staying on agenda topics, making decisions during meeting not deferring, documenting outcomes and action items, and treating meeting time as valuable requiring focus and efficiency. The meeting alternatives include using email for information sharing, using shared documents for collaboration, using quick messages for simple questions, using recorded videos for updates, and understanding that synchronous meetings should be reserved for discussions requiring real-time interaction. The calendar review ritual involves weekly calendar review looking at upcoming week, identifying meetings that could be eliminated or shortened, protecting focus time in advance, ensuring balance between meetings and focus work, and treating calendar management as ongoing practice. The saying no to meetings requires politely declining meetings without clear agenda or purpose, suggesting asynchronous alternatives, explaining focus time priorities, maintaining boundaries despite pressure, and treating no as protecting time for important work. The internal meeting reduction means challenging recurring team meetings for continued necessity, suggesting less frequent meeting schedule, proposing email updates replacing status meetings, eliminating meetings that exist from habit, and treating internal meetings as easiest to eliminate. The external meeting efficiency involves limiting customer or client meetings to necessary frequency, preparing thoroughly for external meetings, maximizing value, combining topics into single meeting when possible, respecting others' time through efficiency, and understanding that external meetings require more care but still benefit from discipline. The implementation of days 19 through 21 requires auditing all meetings, calculating time spent, and evaluating necessity, implementing meeting rules requiring agendas and limiting length, creating focus days, blocking full days as meeting free for deep work, clustering remaining meetings together on specific days, declining unnecessary meetings, protecting time for important work, and treating meeting optimization as reclaiming hours weekly, because excessive poorly run meetings are largest time waste for most professionals, making meeting discipline essential for time management transformation. Chapter 8. Days 20 to 24 optimize energy through strategic breaks and recovery. Days 22 through 24 focus on energy management, recognizing that energy, not time, determines productivity. Day 22 tracks energy levels, monitoring how energy fluctuates throughout day. The energy tracking process involves rating energy level 1 to 10 every hour throughout day, recording what activities preceded energy peaks and crashes, noting sleep quality and how it affects energy, identifying patterns in energy fluctuation, understanding personal chronotype and optimal hours, and recognizing that energy varies predictably throughout the day, requiring strategic task scheduling. Day 22. Track energy. Day 23. Strategic breaks. Day 24. Optimize rhythm. The energy awareness shows that most people have no idea when energy peaks and crashes, that working during low energy wastes time producing poor results, that high energy hours should be protected for most important work, that fighting natural energy patterns creates exhaustion, and treating energy as more important than time, because hours worked mean nothing without energy to work effectively. The chronotype identification reveals whether you are morning person peaking early, evening person peaking late, or somewhere between. That chronotype is largely genetic, not changeable through willpower. That scheduling important work during natural peak is crucial. That working against chronotype reduces effectiveness dramatically. And understanding your chronotype enables working with natural rhythms, not against them. Day 23 implements strategic breaks, maintaining energy throughout day. The break strategy involves using Pomodoro technique or similar, working in focus sprints, taking 5-minute break after each 25-minute work sprint, taking longer 15-minute break after 4 sprints, using breaks for actual rest, not checking phone or email, moving and stretching during breaks to restore energy, and experiencing energy maintenance through regular strategic breaks, preventing depletion. The Pomodoro technique application means setting timer for 25 minutes of focused work, working with complete focus until timer sounds, taking mandatory 5-minute break, resetting timer for next 25-minute sprint, and treating breaks as essential for sustained focus, not optional depending on motivation. The break activities include standing and stretching after sitting, walking outside getting fresh air and sunlight, doing brief exercise like push-ups or squats, drinking water staying hydrated, looking at distant objects, resting eyes from screen, and understanding that physical activity during breaks restores energy better than passive rest. Day 24 optimizes daily rhythm, scheduling work according to energy patterns. The rhythm optimization involves scheduling hardest, most important work during peak energy hours, typically morning for most people, reserving low energy afternoon hours for easier administrative tasks, protecting sleep schedule as foundation of daily energy, exercising regularly for sustained energy throughout day, and treating energy optimization as matching task difficulty to available energy. The peak energy protection means blocking morning hours for deep work before meetings or interruptions, defending peak time from low-value activities, treating peak hours as most valuable time of day, not wasting high energy on email or shallow work, and understanding that peak hours determine daily productivity more than total hours worked. The afternoon slump management involves scheduling easier tasks during post-lunch energy dip, taking walk or doing light exercise to boost afternoon energy, avoiding heavy carbohydrate-rich lunch causing energy crash, considering brief power nap if schedule allows, and treating afternoon slump as normal, requiring adaptation, not fighting. The sleep priority recognition shows that adequate sleep is foundation of consistent energy, that sleep deprivation destroys productivity despite more waking hours, that 8 hours sleep enables peak performance, that consistent sleep schedule regulates energy patterns, and treating sleep as non-negotiable investment in productivity, not luxury to sacrifice. The exercise integration means scheduling exercise during day, not hoping to fit it in, recognizing exercise boosts energy despite using energy, timing exercise to maximize energy benefits, using exercise to reset between work sessions, and understanding that regular exercise increases overall daily energy substantially. The nutrition impact involves eating for stable energy, avoiding sugar crashes, staying hydrated throughout day, timing meals to support energy needs, avoiding heavy meals during work hours, and treating nutrition as energy management tool, not just health concern. The energy drains identification means recognizing what activities deplete energy disproportionately, limiting exposure to energy-draining people or situations, eliminating unnecessary energy drains, protecting energy for important work, and understanding that some tasks drain energy while others restore it. The recovery period's importance shows that working without breaks leads to exhaustion and burnout, that strategic recovery maintains sustainable productivity, that weekends should include actual rest, not just different work, that vacation time is essential for long-term energy maintenance, and treating recovery as enabling sustained high performance, not weakness. The energy tracking review involves comparing days with good versus poor energy management, identifying what practices most improved energy, adjusting daily schedule based on energy learnings, committing to energy optimizing practices going forward, and treating energy optimization as ongoing practice requiring attention. The implementation of days 22 through 24 requires tracking energy levels throughout day, identifying patterns and peaks, implementing strategic breaks, working in focus sprints with regular rest, optimizing daily rhythm, scheduling important work during peak energy hours, protecting sleep as energy foundation, exercising regularly for sustained energy, and treating energy management as equal to time management, because hours available mean nothing without energy to use them, effectively making energy optimization essential for sustainable productivity transformation. Chapter 9. Days 25-27 build weekly review and planning rituals. Days 25 through 27 establish review and planning rituals, creating continuous improvement system. Day 25 implements daily review, practicing reflection each evening. The daily review process involves spending 5 minutes each evening reviewing day honestly, celebrating wins no matter how small, identifying what went well and why, recognizing what could improve and how, planning tomorrow with lessons learned, and treating daily review as essential practice, closing each day with learning and forward planning. Day 25, daily review. Day 26, weekly planning. Day 27, monthly integration. The reflection questions include: what did I accomplish today that moved goals forward? What time management techniques worked well today? Where did I waste time or lose focus? What will I do differently tomorrow? What am I grateful for from today? And treating honest reflection as enabling continuous improvement. The celebration importance shows that acknowledging wins builds confidence and motivation, that focusing only on problems creates negativity and burnout, that celebrating progress reinforces good practices, that wins include both results and practice adherence, and treating celebration as essential component of sustainable change. Day 26 creates weekly review ritual, conducting comprehensive weekly planning. The weekly review process involves blocking 90 minutes every week for review and planning, typically Sunday evening or Friday afternoon, reviewing past week's accomplishments and challenges, evaluating time spent in each Eisenhower quadrant, identifying what worked well to repeat next week, recognizing what didn't work to adjust or eliminate, and treating weekly review as strategic planning time, ensuring next week is better than last. The weekly review components include calendar review, looking at past week's schedule, task completion review, checking what got done versus planned, goal progress assessment, measuring movement toward larger goals, time analysis, evaluating how time was actually spent, energy assessment, noting energy patterns and management, relationship check, ensuring important relationships received attention, and treating comprehensive review as revealing patterns invisible in daily grind. The weekly planning protocol involves reviewing upcoming week's calendar and commitments, identifying 3 most important outcomes for week, scheduling deep work blocks for important projects, allocating time for quadrant 2 activities, planning meetings and communication times, protecting focus days from meeting creep, and treating planning as proactive design of successful week, not passive acceptance of whatever happens. The weekly goal setting means selecting 3 most important things to accomplish this week, making goals specific and measurable, ensuring goals align with longer-term objectives, scheduling time blocks for working on each goal, and treating weekly goals as focus, preventing scattered effort. Day 27 integrates monthly planning, conducting longer-term strategic review. The monthly review process involves scheduling 2 hours at month's end for comprehensive review, evaluating entire month's time management transformation progress, measuring improvement against baseline from day 1, identifying which practices provided most value, recognizing which practices need more work or adjustment, and treating monthly review as ensuring continued improvement throughout transformation journey. The monthly assessment includes comparing current time tracking to baseline, revealing improvement, calculating time reclaimed from eliminated waste, measuring deep work hours achieved, evaluating progress toward personal goals from day 3, noting energy and stress level changes, and treating objective measurement as proving transformation effectiveness. The system adjustment involves keeping practices that work well, modifying practices that partially work, eliminating practices that don't help, adding new techniques as needed, and treating time management system as evolving based on experience and results. The long-term planning integration means using monthly review to evaluate quarterly and annual goals, ensuring weekly and daily activities align with big picture objectives, adjusting course based on progress and learning, maintaining perspective beyond immediate week, and treating monthly review as connecting daily actions to meaningful outcomes. The journaling practice includes writing about time management journey, documenting challenges and how you overcame them, recording insights and realizations, noting patterns across weeks and months, and treating written record as valuable reference and motivation source. The accountability review involves sharing progress with accountability partner, discussing challenges and solutions, celebrating wins together, receiving external perspective on progress, and treating accountability as supporting continued practice. The motivation renewal shows that reviewing progress demonstrates transformation is working, that seeing improvement provides motivation to continue, that recognizing challenges overcome builds confidence, that monthly milestone creates sense of achievement, and treating review as renewing commitment to practices. The habit assessment means evaluating which practices have become automatic habits, identifying practices still requiring conscious effort, recognizing resistance patterns to specific practices, celebrating habit development progress, and understanding that 30 days begins habit formation, but full automation requires more time. The final preparation for program completion involves preparing to maintain practices after 30 days end, identifying essential practices to continue permanently, creating plan for ongoing practice and review, recognizing 30 days is beginning not end, and treating completion as transition to independent practice. The implementation of days 25 through 27 requires conducting daily review each evening, reflecting on day and planning tomorrow. Creating weekly review ritual every week, reviewing past week and planning next comprehensively. Implementing monthly review, assessing transformation progress and adjusting system. Maintaining honest reflection, celebrating wins while identifying improvements, and treating review rituals as creating continuous improvement cycle, because practice without reflection is repetition without learning, making systematic review essential for ensuring transformation becomes permanent. Chapter 10. Days 28-30 integrate advanced techniques and ensure permanence. Days 28 through 30 integrate advanced techniques and ensure permanent transformation. Day 28 implements batch processing, grouping similar tasks for efficient execution. The batch processing strategy involves identifying repetitive tasks done regularly throughout week, grouping all similar tasks into single dedicated session, processing email in 3 batches daily instead of constantly, making all phone calls in 1 dedicated block, handling all administrative work in batch session, and experiencing efficiency gains from eliminating context switching between different task types. Day 28. Batch everything. Day 29. Automate decisions. Day 30. Commit to permanence. The batching benefits show that switching between task types wastes mental energy, that doing similar tasks together builds momentum and efficiency, that batching reduces total time required dramatically, that batch processing prevents constant interruption from small tasks, and treating batching as leverage, multiplying productivity through reduced switching costs. The common batching opportunities include email processing in scheduled batches, social media checking if needed in single session, errands grouped by location and done together, bill paying and financial tasks done monthly, meal preparation done in batch weekly, and understanding that most repetitive work benefits from batching. Day 29 creates if-then automation planning responses to common situations. The automation strategy involves identifying recurring decisions and situations, creating if-then rules for automatic responses, implementing decision-making frameworks, eliminating repeated thinking, building templates for common communications and documents, systematizing routine work through checklists and procedures, and treating automation as eliminating decision fatigue by prioritizing responses to predictable situations. The if-then decision automation means creating rules like if morning then immediate deep work block, if email requires more than 5 minutes then schedule separate time, if meeting invitation lacks agenda then decline automatically, if task takes less than 2 minutes then do immediately, and treating if-then rules as removing decision points that slow execution. The template creation involves making email templates for common responses, creating document templates for regular reports or proposals, building checklists for recurring projects, systematizing intake processes for new work, and understanding that templates eliminate reinventing wheel, reducing time and mental energy. Day 30 conducts final assessment, ensuring transformation permanence. The final assessment involves reviewing entire 30-day journey from baseline to current state, measuring concrete improvements in productivity and time management, calculating time reclaimed from eliminated waste, evaluating which practices became natural habits, identifying practices requiring continued conscious effort, and treating assessment as celebrating achievement while planning maintenance. The measurement review includes comparing current time tracking to baseline showing dramatic improvement, calculating increase in deep work hours achieved, measuring reduction in wasted time and distractions, evaluating meeting time reduction accomplished, noting energy and stress improvements, and treating objective data as proving transformation success. The practice evaluation means rating each technique implemented during 30 days, identifying most valuable practices to maintain absolutely, recognizing practices that work but need refinement, acknowledging practices that didn't fit your situation, and treating evaluation as informing ongoing practice. The maintenance plan creation involves deciding which daily practices to continue permanently, committing to weekly review ritual ongoing, scheduling monthly check-ins to prevent regression, identifying triggers that might derail practices, planning how to recover when practices slip, and treating maintenance as ensuring temporary transformation becomes permanent lifestyle. The identity integration shows that 30 days of consistent practice begins identity shift, that seeing yourself as someone who manages time well reinforces practices, that identity follows behavior making continued practice easier, that 30 days proves you can manage time effectively, and treating identity shift as making practices self-reinforcing. The support system maintenance involves continuing accountability partnerships beyond 30 days, joining communities focused on productivity and time management, sharing your transformation story, helping others, finding ongoing support for continued practice, and understanding that external support prevents isolation and regression. The contingency planning means anticipating situations that challenge time management, like travel or crisis periods, planning how to maintain core practices during disruption, accepting imperfect practice during difficult times, knowing how to quickly return to full practice, and treating disruption as temporary, not excuse for permanent abandonment. The celebration ritual includes acknowledging significant achievement of 30-day transformation, celebrating concrete improvements in productivity and life quality, sharing success with supportive people, rewarding yourself appropriately for commitment and follow-through, and treating celebration as marking important milestone. The commitment renewal involves deciding to continue time management practices indefinitely, treating 30 days as foundation, not completion, committing to ongoing improvement and learning, maintaining weekly and monthly review rituals, and understanding that time management mastery is lifelong practice, not 30-day program. The teaching others shows that explaining practices to others deepens your understanding, that teaching creates accountability for continued practice, that helping others transform provides motivation and purpose, that community of practitioners supports everyone, and treating teaching as cementing your own transformation. The implementation of days 28 through 30 requires implementing batch processing for repetitive tasks, creating if-then automation for recurring decisions, conducting comprehensive final assessment measuring transformation, creating maintenance plan, ensuring permanence, celebrating achievement, committing to ongoing practice, and treating 30-day program as successful beginning of permanent time management transformation because temporary practice creates temporary results while committed ongoing practice creates lasting change, making these final days about ensuring all previous practices become permanent lifestyle. You have learned 30-day transformation to unbreakable time management. Days 1-3 established baseline and core principles. Days 4-6 mastered daily planning and time blocking. Days 7-9 implemented quick capture systems. Days 10-12 developed deep work capacity. Days 13-15 learned ruthless prioritization. Days 16-18 eliminated digital distractions. Days 19-21 optimized meetings and calendar. Days 22-24 managed energy strategically. Days 25-27 built review rituals. Days 28-30 integrated advanced techniques, ensuring permanence. What matters now is committing to 30-day program starting today. 5 implementation priorities. Track current time use, establishing baseline. Implement evening planning and time blocking. Eliminate digital distractions completely. Schedule deep work blocks daily. Conduct weekly reviews consistently. Execute day by day. Maintain discipline throughout. Build progressively. And transform time management permanently through commitment. Stop losing control of time and start managing systematically. Stop reacting to urgency and start acting on importance. Follow 30-day program exactly. Practice every technique daily. Build unbreakable time management. And transform how you work through unwavering 30-day commitment starting right now today.